everybody. Thank you for joining us here. My name's Karen Dahlman, and I'm a director at the Talking Board Historical Society. And you guys all know Rodney, my board partner. Hi, Rodney.
Hi.
So anyway, you guys, you might remember seeing a post about this mouse pad and this mouse from Apple. And that came out a couple weeks ago. So today I want to talk a little bit further about this and show you some things. So I mentioned how this mouse pad can double as a OUIJA board, and this can also double as a planchette or indicator. Well, I'm not biased to iOS. In fact, I have here a Logitech, and both can work as a planchette. Thank you for loaning us your Logitech.
Oh, I wouldn't think of withholding.
Well, thank you. Don't withhold your indicator, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to show you how we can use either of these, and instead of using this small little board, it's just so small, works better with like a rock. We're going to go ahead and use this. You've seen this before. This is a papersack, Trader Joe's special papersack spirit talking board.
We're just branding everybody today, aren't we?
Yeah, I guess I kind of am.
We, as long as we're branding people,
Yeah.
Olympus. This is our small recorder that we use to record the shows. It's recording now, but it's one of the first things that we ever used as something as an indicator other than a planchette that was designed specifically to act as an indicator. So we just set it down here.
So we're going to show you how we use this even as a planchette before we break into these guys. So what I always do is I say, okay, to the spirits we're talking with, I'm going to use this corner right here by the O from Olympus, and I want you to point with that corner, and away we go. Now, just so you guys know, we've already started, did our opening prayer, our session, we've already opened it, so now we're going to go right on into it and start talking. All right, here we go. W, H, A, T. All right, let's switch and try something else here we're going to show them today.
We've already had a conversation, right? That one word per selection.
Yeah, something like that.
Highball glass, guys. Just a highball drink glass. And all these we've used before, by the way.
Yeah, in fact, I've been using these different types of planchettes, of things I found around the house for a very long time, since about the early 80s. We'll talk about that one in a second. So all we do is just put our fingers on here. I think 2 to start with is good. You could even get down to 1. I have to write, so I get down to just 2 fingers. I, S. Okay, wants us to switch. So let's look at this. You can also use this in your house. This is just one of those disc protectors for CDs or DVDs. They come on the top of a stack, and these are great. These are fantastic indicators, you guys. You can see everything through them, but I use this as where the letter has to, or number or letter has to land, so I can see right through it and know that that's the letter spelling out. So we'll just start here, and here we go. T, H, E. Okay.
Pyrex.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A little tiny Pyrex bowl.
Dish? I call it a Pyrex dish.
Sure.
Everybody has these in your house. You use them for mixing all kinds of fun stuff. This one's really old. This one came from when I was a child. It was like a hand-me-down, so it's kind of fun. All right, so here we go. Again, I just suggest like 2 fingers. You can go like 1 finger like that. N, A, T, U, R, E. Well, also now, you guys, you can use something like this, like a rock, just a regular everyday stone. I like it when they're flat. It's just easier, it's smoother, it glides nicely. This is just a fun little stone I found. So let's try this now. Now this was going to require like probably a finger or just 2. It's just because it's so small. And by the way, this works really well on this little pad, which we actually were using earlier before we got on here. This one works really well to point to. So let's go back to this little stone here. And what, you're going to use 2 fingers, Rodney?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to use 1. O, F, Okay. What do you have for us?
I have True Whip. It's the vegan form of Cool Whip.
I love it. I love this. And a story about this one, I think I've told you this before. I made this about 4 or 5 years ago. However, the very first indicator I ever made when I was at somebody's house, and the very first board I ever made when I was at somebody's house and did not have my traditional wooden board with me, was a paper sack like this, and was taking a plastic lid such as this and cutting a little hole in it. So that's fine.
I like it. Now you could have cut it in the center too and made it like but I like this. I like this, the pie shape.
Yeah, it's kind of triangle-ish. Yeah, I could have put it in the middle. You could put it anywhere you want. I liked it like this because my letters, if you notice on this board I made, they're pretty large. And so I figured I needed a pretty large opening for them. So we're just going to turn it like this. You're going to do one-handed. I'm going to do, right now, start with 4 fingers. And I'll go, now I'm going right to my pen. So I only, C, O, M, M, U, N, I, C. Yeah, it's getting a little stuck, isn't it?
On the tape.
Oh, sorry guys. A. They were persistent though, weren't they?
Yeah, I guess so.
T. I. O. N. Okay, and there's something else you can use, just random here, is you can actually use, look, something like a Scotch tape thing.
I mean, she brought the Scotch tape to tape the board and said, well,
why not use this?
Why not use it?
I have not used this before. As I've used everything else we're showing here. I have used before. This I've never used, but I want to tell you, anything works. You know, it really will. As long as it can move across the table, the surface, it'll work. And so we're going to use this little point here as the indicator. We've actually already tried this earlier. All right, so here we go. Oh, it's already going. All right. W, I, T, H. Okay. So what they did for us, they told us earlier they were going to go word by word with each of these tools we brought out. And now we're going to switch now to what I really wanted to show you was that we can use a mouse.
or mice.
Or mouses.
Mouses.
I think that's okay when you talk about these things.
Let's coin it, just in case.
Okay. Should we start with Logitech or Apple?
Let's start with Apple.
Okay. Here we go. iOS. All right. So we decided we're just going to use it like this. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
And you guys, I'm going to tell them right now, we're going to point with just right here in the middle of this thing. It needs to land right here so we'll know what the letter it's on. S, O, U, R, S, E, did you want me to switch? I guess I want me to switch already. You want me to switch already to the next planchette or indicator? Yes, okay, here we go. All right, this is the Logitech, guys. We're using the Logitech. Logitech works too. And again, point with this end right here, where the line is. C, A, L, L, I, T, W, H, A, T, W, H, A, T, Y. Boy, this works pretty well, actually. This Logitech works great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
O. It's really smooth. U. W. I. L. L. B. U. T. S. P. E. A. K. I. N. W. H. A. T. E. V. E. R. P. O. I. N. T. S. T. O. T. I. Oh, H, sorry, H. A. T. W. H. I. C. H. B. E. L. I. E. V. E. Okay, that's it. I don't know what all it said, but I do want to point something out for you. When we use the board, any board, it could be this board, it could be the small board, it could be a regular board like in the background, they will go up and use the letter N and O up here because on the smaller OUIJA board from 1972 circa, the Parker Brothers board, there wasn't enough room on the edges. For example, this one is kind of reminiscent of that. There wasn't enough room here, so when the planchette went over it, it would always fall off the way I placed the planchette on here. So we developed a system back in, gosh, this is probably back in the 80s, to use the letters up here to point to those letters and also the N and O here, because the N and O, they'd fall off, and use the A up here. So you saw it a couple times go up here to the N. Doesn't mean no. When it means no, it'll hit the whole thing. It just means use that letter, because over here it's used to falling off. Now on this particular board, I left a lot of space when I drew this real quickly.
But I believe it's honestly because that's something we're used to.
Yeah,
so
we
it just
developed
follows the
the
same
system.
pattern. Yeah.
It follows the system, but on this board we can use it, and if you watch any of our live shows, it actually will use this N and this N, this O and this O and this A, and if I have an A up here, it'll use both because it's used to doing it, so it's like a system. Okay, let's see what this message said. This is a message for you at the YouTube channel of Talking Board Historical Society as well as the Facebook group. Here is the message, and remember now, they did several of these words with alternating
One at a time.
different indicators, yeah. Okay, so they said, what is the nature of communication with source? Call it what you will, but speak to whatever points to that which you believe. Interesting. What's interesting about that, we had all these different pointers, indicators we used, and they're using that in the message itself. That's kind of funny.
Oh, and you know what? They do that a lot.
They do.
They do that. They incorporate. I mean, they always give really wonderful messages, but they always incorporate the essence of what we're doing within the message anyway.
It's a bizarre. But I like this message because it's saying whatever you believe about source, or let's just say a creator or yourself, or what the universe is comprised of, whatever you believe about that, call it what you will, but speak to whatever points to that which you believe. Speak to that which you believe. Speak to that piece that you believe about that. Whatever it is you believe about universe or source, speak to that. It could be your way of noticing it or acknowledging it. It could be very different than
Can
my
we
way.
talk to source through a Ouija board? Can we use an infinite number of pointers to, do you know what I mean?
Can we use a rock? Can we use a CD? Can we use a tape thing? It's still bringing forth the message, and could that message still be coming from spirit, universe, guides, guardians, angels, ethereal beings, the deceased?
Yeah.
So there you have it. Let us know what you think about the message, and also let me know if you've ever tried to use these before or any of these other wonderful items to do your session as a planchette or indicator. Thank you so much for joining us here, and we'll see you again real soon. Take care.
Bye.